Hello everyone, today we have new video review, and as you can see this time we are going to check fresh release from ICM. So this is a kit in 1/48 scale, which copies quite an interesting combination of two aircraft. As you can see, it's so-called Mistel S1. In 1/48 scale it should be quite a large build, but we have here a commercial sample. It's a set number 48101, and you will get exactly the same stuff as what you will see in this video review. So first of all, I have to note the box art, which is rather nice here, and the box size is typical for 1/48 and 1/32 scale releases from ICM. Here you can see comparison with my hand. And on the side you'll find some information about the kit and real aircraft. So I can see that we have also the measurements of the finished model. Wingspan will be 421 millimeters, and there are 280 parts inside, but we will check them a bit later. As for the opposite side, here you can see that we have two pairs of marking options because we have two aircraft obviously, and as usual box comes sealed with the tape from all four sides. So just give me a second to cut through it, and then we will take a closer look together. And of course, in the meantime, I can remind you that you can support us with a small donation. It's quite easy thing to do. All you need to do is maybe click the big red button on our website. It's done via PayPal, so it's quick and safe. Or maybe you can even try via YouTube directly here. So we have a various membership which will allow you to choose the level of the membership together with some other benefits which are quite handy in modeling hobby, because in some of them you can even get the free kit every month. So now I'm going to open the box. Why I'm doing it off the camera? Because usually on such large boxes from ICM we have a really tight fitment of the top part, this one, which is quite flexible. And then we continue with the white cardboard box, which actually protects all the parts and houses everything inside. So here you can see that we have a really nice packaging, a lot of space. So I really doubt that something arrived damaged, but we will see it further in the video review because we will be checking all the parts, as you remember. And first of all, I would suggest to start with Junkers. So I'm going to open it right now. Just give me a second. Okay, so what do we have here? A lot of plastic sprues. Amount is quite impressive. And on the first one you'll find fuselage halves. So as you can see, both are molded without a tail fin or also tail wings. And I think the nose section is also separate. We have here the lower section of the fuselage, which is molded together with part of the wing. So if I zoom in, you'll understand what I'm talking about. And external features, they look quite good. We have recessed panel lines, we have rivets. Also here we have some cockpit elements. And here you can see tail wings, which should be glued out of two hulls with separate elevators, obviously. So all this stuff looks great for a 1/48 scale, especially considering that here we have guiding elements, which will help you with overall alignment of such large parts. And I think this is really important, because otherwise it will be quite a funny procedure to get them together. And just to give you an idea about the size, here is comparison with my hand. They are big. Okay. Next we continue with machine gun. So here we have several machine guns on the small sprue, and as you can see they look quite nice. So it's just a matter of separating them and installing on the sprue. I mean on the aircraft. Of course you can also find some resin replacement, but it will involve some additional spending, so it's up to you whether you would like to go for such upgrade. Next we continue with this sprue, which houses engine gondolas and new propellers. So frankly speaking, I'm not sure which ones will be used in today's version because we have two of them. But here you can see the first type, also this large blade propellers and separate rudder. I think, yeah, it should be glued out of two hulls, so we have guiding elements inside. Next we continue with another large sprue. So Here we have another type of the engine gondolas and propellers, as I said before. We also have landing gear wheels, which are looking nice for out-of-the-box version, but I would rather suggest to find maybe some resin replacement, because this aircraft is quite popular. I don't think it will be a problem to find a suitable replacement, and the final result will only benefit because, again, these parts are large and noticeable on the finished model. As you can see, inside engine gondolas we have guiding elements, so it will be easy to combine them together. Next, we continue with the narrow sprue, which is dedicated to various wing mechanization, landing gear parts, and some minor things which will be installed on the aircraft. Again, everything looks good, but you might be surprised with the amount of the thin parts here, so be careful with it and use the plastic saw in order to carefully separate all this stuff, because otherwise it will be easy to break it and then really difficult to fix it. Next, we continue with two identical sprues. As you can guess, they are dedicated to the engine parts, because both engines are supplied out of the box, and this is a really cool feature of ICM kits, because you don't have to pay for anything extra in order to have an engine on your aircraft. And I really like that they are not trying to save here, they are actually providing all the necessary things in the standard package. And of course you can also add some wiring for even more impressive appearance on your model. Next, we continue with the clear sprue, which is packed into the separate plastic bag. So here we have all the canopy parts, and molding quality looks nice, but I'm not sure if there are masks templates included. Usually ICM includes them into their kits, but maybe this kit will be different. We will see it in assembly manual check. And here we can see the wing halves. So these ones are provided on the separate frame. You can see that we have the pretty much the same styling concerning the external features. So it means recessed panel lines and rivets in all necessary spots. And if I flip it over, inside you will find guiding elements. So it should be easy to get them all together. Next, I'm opening, actually I've opened already the plastic bag with parts for BF109, so just give me a second to open it as well. I mean, I had the clear sprue in the separate plastic bag. As you can see, we have canopy parts here, and it should be easy to open them. I mean, to build the aircraft with open cockpit, so this is a quite good thing. Next, we continue with the gray sprue. So here we have fuselage halves. Just to remind you, this is not a new plastic, so that's why there will be some tricks which you have to work around while building this aircraft. But overall, it looks fine, especially considering the age of this kit. As you can see, we have also some minor features in the cockpit area. Next, we continue with engine parts, and yes, engine here is also included for BF109, so maybe, I mean, it's not that suitable version for the Mistel to build BF109 with open bonnet, with open cowling, but maybe some others will find a way to have it in an organic way introduced on the model. Here we continue with wing parts. So again, overall design is standard for aircraft fighter kits. Here you can see that the landing gear wheels, they are one-piece parts, and they look fine, but I think you can also find some decent resin replacement if you would like to add some interesting features. And maybe these wheels will not be used at all, because I can see we have also one new sprue which is necessary for Mistel. So just give me a second, I will open it. And I think I know why it will be necessary. So here you can see it. We have the special struts which actually hold the top aircraft in place, and we have also new landing gear wheels so that you can replicate this aircraft with folded wheels. So quite an interesting design, but that's something what you have to use in order to place the BF109 on top. And next we continue with the decals. So decals are provided in the assembly manual, but decal sheet is not that huge, surprisingly, even though we have two aircraft. And as you can see, swastika is also included here. It's just separated into sections. Here we have the stencils, we have also cockpit dials, and that's pretty much all. No seat belts or any other decals, so if you would like to get more features, it's better to go for some aftermarket PE set. And next we have assembly manual, of course, so here I will have to zoom out a bit. It's a standard ICM brochure. We have a color printed brochure, a short history note and technical specifications here, colors chart. Next we continue with the parts map. So note that red color means that these parts will not be used, so pay attention to which parts you are installing on your aircraft. As you can see, we will be using the large blade propellers here. And next we continue with more parts for BF109. Of course, assembly process starts with Junkers. So here you will have to work on the fuselage and cockpit walls, then you join them together, and only then you start working on the cockpit. Quite an interesting parts design, so that's why you have to plan in advance how you will work around all this stuff. But I think this model should be fun to build, especially if you are a fan of the large twin-engine aircraft. Here we continue, by the way, with the wing mechanization, landing gear, and next we have engines assembly. So just to remind you, both engines are present here out of the box, so it might be a good idea to expose one of them because it would be a shame to hide them under the cowlings. Next we continue with the propeller assembly, the nose canopy, landing gear wheels, landing gear doors. Here we install more canopy parts, and then we start working on BF109, which obviously starts with the cockpit assembly. Then we continue with an engine. Here we join everything together and install it in between fuselage halves. And by the way, note the color registry on the side of the page, on the edge. Next we have cooling panels getting installed, so again note that manufacturer does not offer you a possibility to open the cooling. Here we have canopy being placed, so there are again no possible option for the open canopy. And here we have the stencil placement guide as well as the antenna placement as far as you can see. And so yeah, these are actually the holes placement where you have to drill them in order to install these special struts holding aircraft in place. We have the mask templates for both aircraft, which is really great. Here we have the first marking option for BF109, another one, and that's the first marking option for Junkers 88, and another one here. So all in all, we get an interesting combo which should look impressive in 1/48 scale. It should be already available and you can get it in Modelimex webshop. Of course, I will be happy to hear your opinion about this release here in the comment section below. I would be happy to hear if you are, let's say, fan of such large builds. And of course, if you like this video, press the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I will see you in the next video review as usual. Thank you for joining me today, and bye.